Welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555, where your message or messages come in. Come on. I've got intel. Recon is afoot. Let's give it a hot minute for the notification to go out. So who needs to be notified will be notified. Namaste, Donnie Renee. Big cat wave. Just giving it a Mo. Who's here? Mo. Hey, Mo. And we've got what? Malibu. Hello, Malibu. Big cat wave. We're going to dive right in, darling dears, because I've got a number of things to talk about, right? The first thing I want to talk about is the dream I had last night, darling dears. Let's get this straight. I was in this room, darling dears, and there was a lot of my family members in this room, okay? And in this room, I had on this apron. It was an apron, it was red. It was like a deep red with purple mixed into it, darling dears. But every time they looked at me, my apron looked worn, torn, and disheveled. So, I won't tell you the other ins and outs and that, but what I got from that dream, darling dears, it's not how people see you, it's how you see yourself. And your best self is when you know who you are. And I've told you this many times. I tell you this all the time, blood. I talk about it till you must be tired of hearing it. Your birth natal chart, your perfections chart, all of that shiznai is your blueprint of the universe, darling dears. Your snapshot of the Akashic records. You wanted me on camera? Well, here I am, blood. Anyhow, right? Then, while I was on my meanderings trying to discover what the meaning of the dream is, darling dears, because we know the color of red is about vitality, its strength, its power, it's about your passions and your desires, and we know that the purple speaks about your wisdom, your nobility, your dignities, darling dears, all of this and that. So then my mind went on to what? The age of Aquarius, because we are in the age of Aquarius. And why? Because Pluto is about to go direct in Aquarius, darling dears. I believe it's around, oh my gosh, my dates are getting mixed up. I believe it's around September, November, when it's firmly going to be in there until 2043. You're getting intel, darling dears. You're getting intel, right? Let me tell you a bit about the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius, it's not astronomy, it's an astrological age, darling dears. And it occurs when the motion of the earth, known as the precession of the equinoxes, darling dears. And it's in a cycle. The cycle of the equinoxes is 25,800 years, right? It's divided into 12 segments, right? Which is associated with the zodiac signs, okay? When we are having different ages changing, it goes clockwise, because as you know, right, the astrological houses, they go anti-clockwise, darling dears. All right, you with me? If you're still with me, give me a cat. We're gonna read cards, but you need to know these things, what's going on before I touch the cards. Then you'll understand what I'm trying to impart on you, bestie. So each segment of the equinox is about 2,100 and say 50 or 60 years, give or take, because nobody knows the exact date of when the age of Aquarius began. It was somewhere between the times of spring 2020 and winter 2021, right? All right, stick a pin in that. I also put out to you guys my Mercury retrograde reading, because Mercury retrograde begins on the 12th or 13th of December, depending on where in the hemisphere you are, right? Stick a pin in that. The pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde begins on the 25th of November. We are fast approaching that with no breaks, darling dears, no breaks, okay? So the pre-shadow is obviously going to be for about a week or so before, week or 2 weeks before the actual retrograde begins, okay? The Mercury retrograde itself will be will be in Capricorn up until the 22nd of December, all right? Then it will do a sashay into what? Sagittarius, darling dears. Capricorn. While Mercury is retrograding in Capricorn, you're going to see a lot of shiznai going down, darling dears. And when it goes into Sagittarius, why do I say that? Because I've got dates for you, darling dears. I told you I'm going to show you my knowledge by pinpointing specific dates that you can put down your almanac, because what I tell you is the truth roof. Pinky's up. But I'm only here to be your guide, right? To pique your interest. You have to do the footwork and find out. Don't just take my word. Go and find out. Be a keyboard gangster. Get busy with the jazz hands. So, all right. Are you still with me? All right. So now I'm going to, because you can go and watch my Mercury retrograde video to get all of the intel and find out how it's going to affect you specifically. All right. But the important dates, are you listening, darling dears? Have I still got your attention? All right. From the 15th of January to the 21st of January 2024, right? There's going to be a lot of issues with job interviews, school admissions, what else? Promotions, retirements. All of this is going to be scrutinized, darling dears. You're going to be reworking these things, wondering if this is really going towards your soul's choice, the path that you're meant to be on. All right. We're also going to see some chaos, proper chaos. Write this down on your almanac, because I'm telling you, this is what's going down. I spent many hours trying to narrow down these dates, which I did. We're going to see major chaos, right, in the political sphere, as well as with the elites. You know, the top 1%? Yes, baby. As well as what? In the form of reorganizations, promotions, mergers, right? We're going to see things in the corporate realms, darling dears. The political realms is going to be utter chaos. Why? It's all guided by Mercury's influence in Capricorn. And what does Capricorn rule? Capricorn rules people in higher positions. All right. Okay. When the Mercury retrograde shifts into Sagittarius, darling dears, be very careful with things like airline sales, cruise ships announcements. You know, like for a quick trip, listen, you'll be going on the Titanic, blood, don't do it. We're gonna be having issues around passport formats. We already know. We know. I know. You know. If you've been following me, you know that my mind is litty with everything, right? I've got an eye on everything, blood. So what I'm basically saying is that passport formats, immigration policies, foreign relations, everything is going to be very delicate. So be very careful. It's going to be amplified by Sagittarius concerns, as I said. So the challenging periods, once again, right, for the 1% will be from the 2nd of December to the 23rd of December, and then it's going to be again between the 15th of January to the 24th of January 2024, right? And especially around the full moon in Cancer on the the full moon. The full moon's in Gemini, not Cancer, isn't it? Do we have one more full? Well, if I wrote that shit down, that's what's going to happen, blood, because I go off for what I find out. But the full moon that's coming up, darling dears, on the 27th of December, that's when you're really going to see things go to town, darling dears, for the 1% and people in authority in higher places. This is the age of Aquarius, where everything is being revealed to us for those that have the eyes to see. I'm telling you to prepare, darling dears, because it's going to get wicked in them streets, darling dears, spiritually, physically, financially, and emotionally. This is the time where you find out whom you are. You go for your birth natal chart, find your perfection year. Your perfection year is future forecasting. It will tell you what house, what zodiac house, whether it's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all the way up to the 12th, darling dears, what house you're in. It will give you tools in how to handle this shiznai that's coming now. Okay? All right. We're going to press on now. I'm not going to carry on talking and take up your time. Shalom, Robert White. Right, Big Cat, wave. Let's dive in and see where I'm going on these tarot streets. Guided to give you all of this information again, because I've put it out there. Watch it, darling dears. Find out what's going on. What's Dallas saying? Pluto will be back in... Yeah, Pluto's going to dip back in January in Capricorn for a little bit, darling dears. Then around, is it September, November? I'll have to get my dates up again. But it's going to go back into Aquarius and will be there until 2043, right? Pluto in Aquarius, so many things are going to be revealed because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Uranus rules technology, darling dears. We've heard that there may even be an invasion from outer planets, darling dears. They've got the technology. Listen, let me shut up. Let me shut up. I don't want to bore you. I don't want to bend your ear. I want you to get to this reading. But like I said, my dream led me to tell you all of this information, right? It doesn't matter how people are seeing you, it's how you see yourself, darling dears. And if that circle is not tight and right, you leave that circle. Don't be afraid to head out. Like what? Tinky Winky, I told you. This is the time where your cutoff game must be surgical. Not everyone can come with you. And the wrong energy around you around these dates is going to F you over without the Vaseline. Right. Let's carry on, darling dears, and push on at a hot trot as we sip our mochas, because we ain't getting smoked. Let's get the dice. See what number we're working with today. 46 in the chat, that's a 10. The 10 speaks about ending of a cycle. We are being renewed, darling dears. I'm giving you as much intel as I can possibly. And you know what I'm going to do? At the ending of this reading, I will answer questions for you for a donation of $22.22 because the 8 is very important, right? If you want a question answered, wait until the ending of this read and I will stay online and answer your question for you. But one question each, darling dears. What's that? Dallas, you're never boy. Listen, that's why we're brethren, blood. This is why we're besties. Because we share information. And I'm telling you, I feel, listen, if the emails that you send me, a lady sent me an email, it was like a spreadsheet of when she met my channel, what was going on in her life, the things that I said. She even noted down which video was a pivotal moment in her life. You see what I'm saying? I come to you because I went through it, darling dears, but I went through it by myself with just my progeny, and they wanted 3 square meals a day, and I had to what? I had to shop, I had to go to work, I had to tidy, I had a lot going on, blood. I did, but you have me, bestie. We're best friends to the end, but not like Chucky with the chelation. Right, I like my camera to be on there. All right, we're going to press on, darling dears. We've now got 52 in the chat, 7, highly spiritual number. Ancestors, you have messages for us. Tell us everything. You have a 4, darling dears. The energy of the 3 is what? The key word is conflict, darling dears. Somebody or someone's is tongue wrestling and arguing against you. This is the what? Merchants of slander, the gossiping gossipers that are on the balls of their feet to bring what? Wickedness, darling dears, digging up your past and adding to it. It's also about you. What the reason why this is all happening, darling dear, is because something significant in your hemisphere is about to change. You are about to be blessed. Those of you that have been on the path of what? Letting go of the Bob Marley. You know what I'm talking about, those trees, the Mary Janes. Yeah, letting go of the alcohol consumption. It wasn't easy, darling dears, right? Letting go of the whatever the overindulgence was. It's about you what? Letting go of the thing so that the only thing that controls you is you. Do you understand what I mean? Because if you've got an addiction or something that you actually need, a person, place or thing, you are not in full control and are not in your full autonomy of yourself, darling dears. Right. So you have the energy of the 3. As I said, you have a major change coming towards you, darling dears. And it's going to cause those around you, especially those around you that see you one way. My dream with the aprons, right? Remember I told you that, right? You have to be putting your true self forward. Why? Because you have the energy of a 1. 1 is what? Evaluate everything, blood. Even question your own thoughts. Remember, your conscious mind, right, is like, it's like the devil on your shoulder, darling dears. It tells you you're fat, you're ugly, you're old, stupid, all of this foolishness, right? But sometimes when these ruminating wicked thoughts are going through your mind, darling dears, one clean thought will come up and it will be so silent, it'll be so profound. That is your subconscious mind coming to rescue you, darling dears. Remember I told you that. Question everything, your thoughts, other people's actions. I don't mean get all OCD about it, darling dears. No, blood. But you have to remember, if it's going to take away your peace, your harmony, take you off the path that you're on right now, causing you to question your actions when you know you are the truth, Ruth. Pinkies up. Question everything. Together we have what? A 4. The energy of the 4, the numerology of the 4 is about stability. You are in manifestation mode, creating new structures, darling dears. The number 4 also speaks about limitations that others will try and put on you at this moment in time, trying to keep you in their order of things. The number of 4 is ruled by the sun as well as Uranus energy. And as I said, Uranus is ruling what? Technology. It's about being the rebel, being an individual and loving your individualism, darling dears. Being more of a humanitarian, giving to others that have the ears to hear and the eyes to see. Okay? Okay. You still with me? Give me a cat. Let's press on at a hot trot. Let's carry on, darling dears. So the number 4, you could be the birth date of the 4th, the 13th, the 22nd, or the 31st, darling dears. Or that those specific dates will have a significant meaning to you, not just a birth date. It may even be your door number. All right. Your luckiest days going forward will be Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. And why do I say this? Over the next, what's that? 13 days. Something about 13. Over the next 13 days, those particular days will be, oh, pardon me, significant to you. That was a spiritual belch because I speaks the truth roof. Pinkies up. Dallas, you say your birthday's the 13th? Well, listen, I'm tapped in and tuned in and turned up and all of it. Listen, I've got to turn on the fan. It's like the heat. Let me tell you something. This change of life is not fabulous, blood. 1 minute, I'm hot, then I'm cold. Sometimes I'm in the bed, wrapped up to my chin, but I have to leave my left big toe out. Listen, it's not fabulous. It's not. Right? But anyhow, before I get off of what I'm talking about, darling dears, let's lean in even more, bestie, right? Because the dice meaning of a 1 and a 3 speaks about successful business. So this is a new home, car, career, a job, a successful business trip. Maybe you're going to a seminar, darling dears. Because if you're going to a seminar, maybe you paid for it yourself. That is a business trip, darling dears. Remember, I told you that. It could be a trip where, I don't know, a retreat, whatever it is, darling dears. It will be significant for you, darling dears. All right, let's press on. Right. Okay. So we have the 4. Do we need to? Yes, the energy of the 4 is also the Emperor, Mars and Aries energy, claiming dominion. For others, this is meeting someone, a new partner. The Emperor energy also speaks about an organization. It brings in the energy of entrepreneurship. If you've been thinking about it, darling, get it done now. If you want to start a YouTube channel, a platform, do it now before Mercury retrograde kicks in, darling dear, where it will mess up things and mess with your confidences. Remember, I told you that, because the Sagittarius energy is about expansion. Because it's retrograde, it's about closing in. So you get whatever you're meaning to launch, you launch it in the next few days before the 25th when the pre-shadow comes in. All right, let's press on. The Emperor also speaks about, as I said, you could be claiming dominion of yourself. It's about being nurturing to your progeny. Or I heard stepchildren, something to do with stepchildren. Is somebody got stepchildren coming into their life or have come into their life? Well, if they have, you don't like them. Listen, I'm just telling the messages. Don't pick on me, right? Don't pick on me. And I don't care. I don't care how fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely you are, right? If I meet you and you got progeny and your progenies are what Chucky's in the making, you think, listen, black, I want their birth natal charts. Yeah, so I can check them out, darling dears. 59 in the chat. Let's press on, because this is an ancestral message that we're going to be getting. I'm going to use the wisdom of the witch's oracle. I'm going to dive right in and see what your ancestors have to say about this. What does your ancestors want you to know about this age of Aquarius that we're in? Pluto going into Aquarius, which is very important because Pluto is a generational planet. It will have effects on everybody on this Malkuth. And none of us will survive the age of Aquarius. I told you it takes over 2,000 years, blood, to get to the next one. What's that? Dallas says, I've met Chucky's children. Baby, you better did skeet and kept it popping and fresh, darling dears. And then get your Mariah Carey on. Clutching your pearls. I didn't know the person or those people. Let me tell you something. Nobody. I think I'm the master of seeing you, I'm in a seal. You'll be like this, pinching yourself and smacking yourself across the face to see if I noticed you was there. Yeah, listen, I know how to blind my eye. Easter Island, Stevie Wonder. Mm-hmm. And then because my Chiron is in my 11th house, so there was a lot of wounding around groups. I came from a group, my family was big. I had 5 sisters and 2 brothers. My youngest sister, she passed in January last year. My oldest sister she's going through it at this moment in time. They called us all to the hospital last week, and they said it was her last few hours. We went there to say goodbye, and when I sat next to her, it just came into my mind to play her favorite song, which happens to be that Woman to Woman song. That, I think it's Shirley Brown. My sister, who hasn't spoken in over a year, started to speak. She opened her eyes. Her daughter nearly had a heart attack. Thank God everybody there was videoing it at that moment in time, so I kept playing the track. But I don't get on with any of those people in that room, so I stayed for her, and then I left. I left like this. Listen, but I had to go. I was called there, right? Why? Because it's not her time. My energy had to bring her back. I don't have to lie to you about these things. If I was speaking to them, you'll have my son. My son was living witness. When next time he's here, if he's not too camera shy, I'm going to let him tell you about what happened when we went to the hospital and how my sister woke up. I'm telling you, they had her on a ward called Laurel Ward. When you go on that ward, the only place you're coming out is feet first, blood, straight into the back of a, you know, the private ambulances to take you to the mortuary. Yeah, she woke up. She woke up, right? And then I went back to see her again last week. It was the week before. I went back to see her last week, Friday. And she's been talking, she's making sentences. And when it was time for me to go, I told her I was leaving, right? And then she went like she was going, she went like she was going to get up from the bed. She had her leg amputated last March. How can she get up from the bed, right? But she was awake, she was alert, because it's not her time. There's some apologies that needs to be done between herself and her children. I hope they use the energy wisely. I didn't tell them that information. Why? Because I don't fucks with them, darling dear. I don't. The energy's bad, it's dark, very dark. But I went because it's my sister, my oldest, imagine that, my oldest and youngest sister to be taken. Well, she, as far as I know, she's still alive. Yesterday, when I was putting on my makeups because I had to go on the road, I heard this squeaking noise in my house, and I was like, what, rodents? No. So I'm sitting on my makeup chair, and I'm going, it's not the chair. And then out the corner of my eye, I saw a bird. It was on the overhanging roof of the window. It was picking at the overhanging roof. Usually when somebody dies, the bird comes and it picks at my window. So I think she had maybe a turn for the worst yesterday. All right. Because guess what, besties? She's not at the hospital anymore. I called the hospital. They sent her back home because she didn't do what, she didn't go brown bread, darling dears. She didn't. She's back at home where I have no access to her. Why? Because she's amongst the wicked. And the bad energy, I told you, I felt so low vibing when I came back. I was so low vibing. So low vibing. But anyway, it is what it is. Once you've left the place and you've had to head out, darling dears, you don't go back. You don't. And then you, when you do, if you are ever in these people's presence again, darling dears, when you look at them, the ones you felt had power in your life, they're old, they're shrunken, they look miserable, they're unhappy, right? And they want you. They want to. They would like to be on you like sucker pads to suck the life out of you. No, blood. They didn't even get the benefit of my eyes, let alone a conversation. Are you kidding me, blood? I didn't come there for you. I came there for Patsy. That's her name. Anyhow, let's press on, darling dears, as we sip our mocha, because we ain't getting smoke. Pay attention to the signs and the symbols. Like I said, if somebody's going to pass that's significant for you, the birds will come and tell you. They will come and knock on your window. I'm telling you. But let's carry on. What does your ancestors need to know about all of these changes? Because the perfection chart, darling dears, it goes in a 12-year cycle, and then it repeats. Say, for instance, because as you know, I'm over half of 100. I'm 55, so I'm in the eighth house year, okay? And every time it if you look at the perfection chart, I'm giving you some real intel. When you see it, you're going to see all of the ages from 0 going all the way around. But when you look at the 0 age, you'll see your true rising sign at that age. Because every year, your rising sign changes. Even though it stays the same on your birth natal chart, every year it changes. Okay? All right. Let's see what your ancestors want you to know. Continue to be dedicated, darling dears. Some of you need to get your studying game on. There's more for you to learn. There's other things for you to acquire. Why? You're being gifted at this moment in time. Age of Aquarius and all that. You need to know what's going on. You need to know how to protect yourself, darling dears. Some of you are going to be learned, going into higher studies. It could be occult. Occult is what? Astrology, tarot, it's numerology. Outside of that, I don't know, blood. Why? Because I don't do chaos magic. Why? Because I've got progeny blood, and my eternal soul is very important to me, just like my edges and my hairline, which I keep telling you about. So nice I had to say it twice. Darling dears, continue to be dedicated. Whatever path you're on right now, you keep it popping, you keep it fresh. This is your confirmation. Some of you may have been floundering in your due diligence, in your spirituality. You may even be a religious person, whomsoever you are. You've been questioning these things. Maybe you've been asking where God is, because you feel as though God hasn't turned up for you now. Listen, blood, God was here all along. God is tricky. God hides inside each and every one of us. But you have to go within. You've got to go within. And how do you do that? The DNS will set you right there, blood. The dark night of the soul. I had to look over my shoulder. Why? Because I'm the red light, green light champion of 79, baby. And I ain't going back to the DNS. Listen, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Oh my God. Yeah. Continue to be dedicated, darling dears. Be dedicated. And for some of you, you need to get your ancestral altar. Some of you are like, oh my God, people's going to think this. Listen, I couldn't give a hot piping hot one of those blah. Yeah, it's gone beyond words, that I don't care what people think. And if you come into my house, right, that means you're very lucky, right? And if you actually do sit, my altar is where I sit at every day, where I do my readings, where I pray, where I plan my future, where I pay my progeny's what allowances, darling dears. Listen, I need a whole altar around me. Continue to be dedicated, darling dears, and focus. An altar can be just a simple candle, darling dears. A candle, then you get two of these. One you put I don't know, coffee, sugar, flour, and the other one you put fresh water in, darling dears. Recognize your ancestral team. Get your altars sorted out, darling dears. You can put pictures of a relative that's gone by, one that was particularly close to you, darling dears. But it's about you getting your ancestral team on board. They can't help you through dreams, through intuition, through discernment. They can't unless you ask for their help. But you have to also give them thanks by having an altar, darling dears. Be dedicated. And if you are on a learning of a higher knowledge path, continue, darling dears. It all gets more interesting the deeper you go into the woods, darling dears. Because sometimes just like when I first saw a natal chart, I was like, Lord Jesus, it looked like Arabic written in Swahili, right? With someone that did it with their non-dominant hand. I didn't understand, lad. I didn't. I went, ahoy matey. I turned into Popeye. And then I turned into Jazz hands. Because I'm a Capricorn midhaven. I will seek and find, darling dears. I will seek and I will find. But anyway, they want you to continue with your dedication, whatever it is. Somebody may even be writing a book. Maybe you're going to dedicate it to somebody passed on, darling dears. Continue on that path. I heard cryptocurrency. Who's investing in the cryptocurrency? They're trying to tell you that it's a load of bullshit. Listen, whoever's telling you that is a broke pocketos. Remember I told you that the biggest transfer of wealth is going to be in 2024 and 2026, right? Because they're getting rid of the middle class. There's not going to be no middle class. You're either rich or you're poor, right? The three biggest things for you to invest your currency in is what? AI. Attention. What's the attention? The gaming. The gaming industry start giving out prizes of 33 million skrillers, darling dears. Very important. And the third one that I would invest in is air. You're saying air, sword energy? Nah, blood. Air, yeah, all of that, darling dears, because I'm telling you, years going on, you're not going to be able to breathe the air. right? Not for free and not clean, darling dears. Not the way they're doing what they're doing as they're cutting down them trees. But again, I digress. It seems like the dream opened up my chatty patty. I'm channeling my inner chatty patty, but there's so much information that's tumbling around in my head. I'm gonna try and keep it concise, and please let me just drop the gems so that they can get what I'm saying. And if you don't understand, write that shit down, darling dears, and then go and research it. Because if you are pushed to write something down that I've told you about, darling dears, you need to know what's going on in that area specifically. What else do they want you to know? Because we're going through cycles, blood, moon energy, mother energy. This is about what? Nurturing, darling dears. Your ancestors need nurturing. Somebody's not nurturing their ancestors. Who is this? Who is this? Go get your altar. Who's that? Spiritual courtroom. Tell the courtroom, tell the big cats what's going on. Me, I tell them what go on. Thank you. Thank you. I try. Listen, my channel is going to change now, because when I started the channel, I was going through my own DNS, and I didn't have no one but my progenitors. And like I said, they was hungry, mate, and they wanted 3 square meals a day, and I still had to go to shopping and pay all of the bills, right? But then after that, I started getting emails of how people were, things that I said was helping them. I'm a naturally funny person, but around the wrong people, baby, my face is straight. Come through safari, posh clap, like the Easter Islands. Have you seen the Easter Island statues? Straight, listen. That's why I can talk to you, bestie. Why? Because I know you won't tell anyone. You've been through cycles. And it could also speak about someone around you that wasn't nurturing. You have a female energy, darling dears, that's put an altar in your name. Yeah, you'll be surprised, because this person is religious, but they have an altar in your name. Why? Because they want to take you down. They don't understand your flow. They don't understand how comes you're happy. They don't understand how comes you're abundant. And they don't understand why their life is going down Bobby Brown. Touch not the anointed. Touch not the anointed. When they gonna get this? Right? Touch not the anointed. Nurture your altars, darling dears. But you have an older female who has set some kind of altar, written something down, something to try and bring you down. It could be a sister, it could be a mother, it could be a cousin, it could be a friend, but it's someone that doesn't want you to be as happy as you are. They want to take the flight out of your tail. They want you to be unhappy like them. They, them, and This is a new beginning for you, darling dears. Some of you are going to go through cycles when you get a hold of your birth natal chart, because I'm telling you, your conscious mind is going to tell you it's too much. Go lay down, eat some chocolate, waste your time. Yeah, find out nothing about yourself. Listen, the whole point of us being on this Malkuth is to know thyself. Socrates told us, Tesla told us, Einstein told us. How did Einstein tell us that? By what? Telling you to keep repeating stuff, right? Doing the same thing and trying to expecting a change is madness. Einstein also said that he's never failed. He found 10,000 ways not to do something, blood. And that's what you call what? Dedication. Dedication. I'm in such a happy mood. I'm not even going to check their rooms to see if they've tidied it up. Listen, I want to be happy for the rest of the day. Base of the deck, darling dears. What did I say? You have a female relative, darling dears, that has written down trying to what? Bind and lock and bind your spirit, your international travel. What is this national? Tell me what the national is. Rebirth, darling dears. You've become a new national of the what? Rebirth section, darling dears. Somebody's trying to hold you chained in the position that they met you at, darling dears, or where they saw you. Listen, break every chain. I've already put up a prayer, which I found was absolutely fabulous, on how to break soul ties and chains. If you want some more information, hit me up in the Gmail. I've got intel on how you can actually break soul ties and curses, darling dears. No, I don't get into chaos magic. I told you that is not my path. My path is to make sure that you are on the right path, or at least you get one paw, a foot, a toe on the right path. After that, it's up to you, bestie. Because I can't be there when you cross the road. I can't. But I can talk to you about it until you're sick of it, until you actually do it. You know the way you talk to a progeny today? Just shut her up. I'm just going to do this. Just shut her up. Yeah, shut me up. Shut me up by doing these things. Do it. Yeah. Shut me up. I bet you can't. Shut me up by learning your birth natal chart. Shut me up by becoming abundant. Shut me up by utilizing Easter Island and Stevie Wonder, darling dears. Yes, Oracle 7100. I am live. And the reason why you don't, I used to be live every single day, but all of a sudden YouTube, when I do a live, it takes up to 12 hours for the live to upload. So by the time it's uploaded, nobody wants to watch the reading. And there's so many gems in it. But who's meant to hear it, heard it. Who was meant to see it, saw it. We now have what? 86 in the chat. The 86 goes to what? 86 goes to, come on, quick. It goes to 14, darling dears. The energy of what? Temperance. I told you your ancestors have a message for you, darling dears. You are an earth angel. You had to be patient with yourself. You've been on a difficult journey. But it's about you, what? Pressing forward. And temperance comes in with what? Sagittarius energy. Was we not just talking about the Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius that is significant for some? All right. Let's press on as I sip my mocha because it ain't get smoked. Let's get a rune stone. Oh, did I tell you? The number 4, the important letters for you over the next 13 days is going to be D, M, and V. The days was Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Yeah. Oh, and the numbers for you to avoid, right, over the next 13 days is 1, 3, 5, and 9. It could be an address, it could be a registration number, it could be someone's date of birth. Listen, I just come with the messages, mate. How you amalgamate them into your hemisphere is up to you. Oh. You've got a duo, 2 of them. Right, when you cast rune stones, you read them from right to left. Oh, bestie, look. Can you see? This is swallow sun energy. Somebody wants to bring you down, darling dears. This is in the form of what? Bad counsel. They want to give you bad advice, darling dears. That would lead to what? Bad credit, right? Bad things happening to you. Listen, if I had pearls, I would squeeze them BRTs with you right about now, right? Someone don't like the fact that you're happy. This is someone who is unhappy. This person has children, darling dears. Their children don't like them. Listen, they're not liked in their life, darling dears. That's their business. I don't care, right? So to add to the DMV, swallow is represented by the letter S. To add to the lucky numbers of 4, 13, 22, and 31. We've also got the numbers 16 and 19. All right. Someone is very unhappy, darling dears, and they would like to spread it into your life. You also have Isa. Ooh, love it. This is the Hermit in Tarot, darling dears. Swallow, Sun energy, Big Cat, Leo energy, the 5th house. The 5th house is of drama. It's of dating, darling dears. The 5th house is also the house of children. All right. Hermit energy, represented by the letters K-I-C. So you have K-I-C, S and DMV, okay? Isa, I already told you, is the letters, did I tell you or didn't I? I don't think I told you, is the number 11, 9, 19, 16, as well as the numbers 4, 13, 22, 31. All right. But the Isa, the Hermit energy, also speaks about being separating yourself in order to go within. It was a long time coming. We've got the Hermit is Virgo energy. Some of you have health issues at this moment in time. You're about to overcome them, which is going to make some people very unhappy, darling. They wanted you dead, barking at passing cars. All right, yeah, all of that, man. They don't wish. I told you, somebody's trying to lock and bind your spirit, darling dears. Yeah. Now the third eye is on them bitches and mitches, right? Because Big Cat is on their trail, and that's the truth roof. You was always Dorothy, darling dears. You always had the power. Can't you see the evil eye of Sauron at your back? You always had the power. Remember I told you that. Let no weapon formed against you prosper, darling dears. Isaiah 54:17. You was right to isolate yourself from certain situations, darling dears. This was for the betterment of your spiritual evolution, right? And also for you to what? Realize that you are the whole army alone. We saw the Emperor energy. From the foot soldier to the commandante, never you doubt your skills or where you're going. And if you do, get your birth natal chart, darling dears. Get your birth natal chart. We've got 88 in the room. 88 is what? 16 tower moments. Sudden changes coming on you. People think that you've changed suddenly. Nah, blood. It took a while for you to realize that they were what? For the streets, blood. They was for the streets, but not your streets. Those streets over there, somewhere out there. Just had the urge to say New York. New York? Who's in New York? What's New York got to do with this? I told you ever since I woke up this morning, it's like my subconscious mind, my intuition, whatever, sentences, words, something about pink. What's going on with the pink? Pink what? So hit me up in the comments. What does the pink mean? Listen, bestie, help me out. Yeah, is it 3 syllables? What is it? All of this intel. But let's press on. Who's that? Jacqueline Renton. You're New York City. Fist bump, cat. Listen, like I said, well, if you're in New York, it means that you're in the pink, darling. Whatever you're doing something new, Jacqueline. Something new, something different. It could also be the birth of a child that's around you, but I believe that you're doing something new. Something different, darling dear. Something that's at fledgling stages. Divine wants you to, and your ancestors want you to continue to be what? Dedicated. Dedicated. Let's carry on. Let's get a deck. Right? Let's talk about the Hermit some more. Someone is about to meet an older partner, or it's about an older person, darling dears, that is not happy for you. Listen, if they could take you out, I mean, like disappear like smoke at night, darling dears, they would. And not take you out, not for nothing nice. Nothing that you could get at the KFC. No, blood. They want you brown bread. They don't like your spiritual strength. They don't like that you're strong. They don't like the fact that they have to stay at your back, your shapely back. Law 16. Why? Because they're the head betrayer. The head betrayer, darling dears. And we already saw moon energy is mother energy. Somebody who should have been nurturing to you, darling dears. What's that? Okay. Taurus chorus. Big cat wave. Long time, darling dear. Long time. Anyhow. Let's move on, darling dear. I'm going to use my FP555 Oracle Intel deck. What does the ancestors want you to know? If it's on the floor, it's coming through the door. What did I say? They're on the balls of their feet, darling dears. And everything is going back to my dream. This is why I had to tell you about it. They don't like the fact of your beautiful apron, darling dears. When they see you, it's in some old torn thing. You look like Cinderella, blood. You look like Cinderella in their eyes. But really, you are a child of God, darling dears. You are shining. You are victorious. And all they can do is talk about you. And they're trying to lock and bind you. And you've got 3 head bitches, right? A thruple of wickedness, right? That wants to take you down, darling dears, because you don't want nothing to do with them. They're slandering your name. We've got the 4 and the 8 that goes to a 12. The energy of the 12 is what? The hangman. They better what? Listen, if they need to do us a favor, darling dears. And what's that? Hold their breath, darling dears. Hold their breath and wait for your downfall. How about that? But nobody tell them why. We're working with Easter Island and Stevie Wonder. I told you. They're talking about you in them streets, darling dears. They don't like you. The way you've changed. And as I told you, my Chiron is in my 11th house, darling dears. My Chiron is in Pisces in the 11th house. The 11th houses of groups. I always felt different. The things I wanted to talk about, they didn't want to talk about. My sister... I have no support from any one of my siblings, and I don't want to see them anymore. You get to the point when you realize when the people that kept you as a thumber, they were lower than you, darling dears. Their intellect is not on your level. Their morals, their integrity is not on their level. On your level, sorry, darling dears. right? We've got big cat Leo energy again in the upright sun energy. So we need to speak about the fifth house. Upright means what? Drama.com, darling dears. In the reverse, somebody wants to bring drama to you. Somebody who's what? Chopping it up in them streets about your name, darling dears. Yeah. But as I said, you've isolated yourself, become solo dolo, like the boys or girls on the pole. Yeah. This is about the self, your sense of self. Divine wants you to tap into your childlike spirit, because when you're a child, darling dears, you believe anything is possible. You don't even put faith into it. You just believe anything is possible, right? Your imagination is big, you know. Divine wants you to utilize that spirit in order to what? Cut and go through. Cut and go through. How do you do that? By being dedicated, darling dears. Some of you are going to be dedicated to what? As I said, finding out things. Finding out about your birth natal chart, your perfections chart. Finding out about yourself. That's what it's all about. Find out about yourself. When you focus on you, you get a different type of happiness. Listen, I take care of myself, blood. And sometimes, some mornings I wake up, I'm like, Case, what do you want me to do for you today? What do you want? What do you want? Are you going to be full-on vegan today, or are you going to be a pescatarian? Yeah, all these questions I ask me. And I love me. Love yourself, bestie. And when you smile, the world smiles back at you. Why? Because you've changed your world. Let them talk. Let them talk. Let them continue, right, to do whatever they're doing to try and bind you, because the same thing that they try to set on you is what? Blocking and binding them. You will see in the illnesses that are coming on, the lack of money, darling dears. Contracts that they signed with people are going to be rescinded. Somebody did a contract, darling dears. They did something. What else does your ancestors want you to know about these bottom feeders, right? Wasn't I just talking about my Chiron? So therefore, it's a message for you to go and find your Chiron. Chiron, if you don't know what it is, it's the symbol that looks like an upside down key on your birth natal chart. What's Chiron? Chiron is I've forgotten whose son he is, but he was injured by Hercules, right, with an injury that wouldn't heal, and he was in so much pain that he begged the gods. I think he begged Zeus to take his life and make him into a constellation, darling dears. He's the wounded healer. He's represented by a centaur. Go and find your Chiron, darling dears. It will give you the tools, right? The house that the Chiron is in, if you look at the opposite house to it, darling dears, you will find what you had to overcome in order to get to your healing tools. And they're part of your superpowers. Why? Because once you understand how to heal thyself, you'll be able to heal others. Yeah. It's all coming out now. Your Chiron is in Pisces. Is it actually in the 12th house? Because as I said, my Chiron is in Pisces, but it's in the 11th house. Groups, blood. The groups, listen. Oh, child. When I think about, oh, child, the person that I am right now, listen. I told you, I serve the nostrils and void of eye. Listen, you serve nostrils to the what? Merchants of slander. Base of the deck. What? What's this? Subterfuge and bull swanky? On the 16th, wasn't we just talking about the tower? Listen, bestie, I can't make it up. All right. We're going to read up on these, darling dears. We want to know what they're saying about you. This one that is trying to lock and bind you, darling dears. But guess what? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You are gifted with responsibility, and the responsibility is what? Not to buy into the fucking ease. And any weapon formed against you shall not prosper. But you have to believe it, darling dears. You have to believe it. Call your ancestral team to what? Cover you. Cover your comings and your goings. Cover your progeny. Cover your chariot of righteousness. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And you wear the crown, bestie. You found me for a reason. You did. And I've got so much more to show you. Oh, child. Let me get teach you with my nose. That's one thing I notice. Whenever I'm doing readings, the mucus buildup is not real. Ain't it terrible when you try to blow your nose quietly in public? It sounds bad. It does. But it is what it is. Let's dive in. Right, let's get a deck. A nice clear one so we can see all of the pictures. So we know exactly what's going on. This one. What are they talking about? Some of them are talking about the fact that you are a natural born teacher, darling dears, or maybe you're a studious, you're a student of life. It could also be a job, darling dears. It also speaking as though they don't like the fact that you appear to be what above them, which you are, darling dears. Why? Because you're serving them nostrils, right? And void of eye. What's that? Easter Island and Stevie Wonder. Somebody doesn't even like the fact that someone has gone into what? Higher learning. The Hierophant could also represent a house or some kind of ceremony. It also speaks about traditions, darling dears. You ain't following the what traditions of the Falconese that they try to breathe into your life, darling dears. They want you to live like them. How dare you change? How dare you get great? How dare you get to the Skrilla? How dare you do a Benjamin or Benjamina Buttons by turning back the hands of time? Something not even R. Kelly can do, darling dears. How dare you? Continue to dare. Continue to dare, bestie. Love it. Don't hate it. They're talking about you in them streets, darling dears. They don't like the fact that you're studious. Some of you may even be married or have a new partner. They don't like none of those things. They want you to be like them, bitter and twisted. Right? 108 in the chat. That 8 goes to a 9. The energy of the 9 is what? Fruition, darling dears. You're done with them. You're finished with them, darling dears. Washed off your hands. Dusted off your sandals and headed out. Matthew 10:14. What's this? What did I say? They're chatting you and you couldn't give a good golly oh gosh. You already dropped them like a hot potato. Baby. Oh, I love it so much. I love it. I don't hate it. Listen. Let me get some more tissue. Right? Because this is outrageous, bestie. Because you dropped them. You're not taking on the burden of their what? Because listen, you can't even hear the gospel. You could, if you was to hear the level of things that they're saying about you, darling dears. But it doesn't matter. Why? God heard. God sits high and looks low. Never you forget that. What's that? Bonita, my dancing ballerina. Angelic alchemist mother. Big cat wave. Tanya. Glad you could come back. Slim Jim. Skeet. Yeah, love it. Don't hate it. Listen, God heard. God sits high and looks low. And why? Why are they getting it? Because you've been dedicated, darling dears. You haven't been dedicated to wickedness. You've been minding your own business, right? Why is my camera keep sneaking around? Right, it's all up in my kitchen, right? That's Cockney rhyming slang for face. Listen, yeah, that's what they're talking about. Your dedication, darling dears, your higher education, whatever you've been dedicated to, darling dears, but it wasn't for you to hear. This is not your battle to fight, darling dears. Big cat win wars. We don't fight battles. That's for the feeble-minded, dull-eyed simpletons that had to hit the road, just like Jack. Now you know, because I've allowed the camera to be on me today, now you know what I'm doing in the background. When I'm doing the readings, you think, oh, Casey's just sitting. No, blood, I'm active. My face is active. I'm active. Yeah. That's what's going on. Yeah, you release the burden. What's this? This is 4 cards. Do we look at these 4? Do we need to know what these 4 are? Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to see, bestie? Well, I'll show you one. Because you're different, darling dears. You dare to change. This is the 8th house. Somebody made some. I told you I'm in the 8th house year. You may be in your 8th house year. The energy of what? The death card. And as I told you already, what's going on in my life with my oldest sister, Patsy. I know, because as I said, it's going to make me cry. Because it's so unfortunate, darling dears, when you have to go back into that awful energy. I would love to go back and say goodbye to her, but she knows that I said goodbye, because when I put on that music, Patsy started to wake up. And then I went to the Wednesday when they called us all day. I didn't mean to cry on that, and then I went back the Friday. And she was having whole sentences. She even acted like she was going to get out of bed. But I know that I will not see her again. And these cards have told me this. And they're going to talk about the fact that I'm not there. They're talking about you while you're not there because you've changed. Hold on a minute. Let me get tissue for my eye chakras. Listen, you lot are taking me through it, darling dears. You really are. But anyway, I've said my goodbyes and they can't get me back. Not for all the tea in China. Yeah, you've changed. Look. Judgment is on them, darling. There's like white on rice. Things that they can't actually wash off. And when you see the judgment card in the reverse, this is a cursage on your lineage, darling dears. These people have been living some kind of hedonistic life on your name. This is why you had to block them out. This is why you had to make a firm decision to choose you, darling dears. This is what they're talking about, darling dears. The fact that you haven't come back. The fact that your block game is for the gods. And if they dare approach you in public, even though you've got your full Easter Island Stevie Wonder on, darling dears, you will be obstreperous. And what's that? Difficult and noisy, darling dears. They can't handle you. They cannot. Handle the big cat? Hey, you better handle it with care. Especially when judgment is on you. Like white and rice. Just like, what's his name? Oh my God. Have you been watching? Listen, bestie. I got to interrupt the reading again, right? Have you been watching what's going on with Cassie and P. Diddy? Do you remember I had to stand up the other day? She got over, she wanted 30, I need to put my head back, right? When I say 30 million skrillers and do my snake in the monkey shadow. Good God, listen. And I told you guys, I don't know which reading it was, if you can remember the reading. A few days ago, we got the 2 and the 5. When you get the 2 and the 5 on a dice, somebody, a public figure, is about to be outed, right? Yes, yes, yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. And he paid her within 24 hours, right? Have you ever known any court case to be settled in less than 24 hours? And then I saw that she's got DNA of some of the people that was doing all of this. What did he call it? FOs, freak-offs. Good God. Good God. Bestie, I had to put my spectacles on. I couldn't believe it. Listen. But anyway, it's nothing to do with us. Whoever's trying to put this energy on you, darling dears, trying to lock and bind your spirit, darling dears, trying to take the flight out of your cell. Remember, you had the energy of the temperance, darling dears, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper in the name of the Most High Father, God, Mother Isis. No! What do we need to know about the sun energy? 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands is about wounding, darling dears. What is it about the wounding? It's in the reverse. We have the Page of Cups. Because the impression that I'm getting with the wounding that you had in the, pardon me, spiritual belch, because it's the truth. Pinky's up. As I was saying, the wounding that you received, darling dears, the cups, darling dears, is about your emotions, right? Some of you are in the early stages of actually getting out of the woundation that was perpetrated against you, right? Because you're feeling that you may have to go back amongst, you don't have to go back around them, darling dears, but the wounding, the heartbreak, the pain and suffering, this too shall pass. Remember I told you that. This too shall pass. But you have to be what? Dedicated, darling dears, and realize that you're going to go through cycles. And one of those cycles is you're going to be angry. I got angry one day. I was so angry. Right? Especially when my younger sister died, because this one of my other sisters, she was keeping everybody from my younger sister, so we didn't even know she was dying, right? And when I got the call to say that she died and everybody's meeting at her house, I was like, what? But I went to her house, right? My younger sister, the September of 2021, I was on week business. I was driving to Peckham. If you know UK, you know Peckham, right? Of this specific shop. I like to get lace fronts from there, right? And something said to me, go to her house. And this person that claims to be a nephew of mine opened the door, right? And they don't normally let me in. And I don't know why, because I haven't done nothing to them. I didn't smack their children or take their money. No, I didn't do none of those things. But what I'm basically saying, I went in and he was like, when you opened the, oh, she's not talking. When I went in there, she spoke to me. She called my name and she told me that she loved me. And I told her, I gave him my card because it's got my number on it. And I said to her, if you ever need anything, right, you hold the card. If you can't call me, just hold the card and I'll know to come back, right? But I never got to see her again. And then when I found out that she died, my son was here that day. I was like, and it was the same day that I'd gone to Nissan to buy my birthday present for myself. But then again, I digress. But anyway, right? The whole way there, I was cussing in the car. My son, you know what he did? He tried to find another seatbelt. Yeah, I got there quick, man. I got there quick. And as my foot touched the doorway, everybody was getting it. What do you mean I was obstreperous? Everybody was getting it. And this same sister that kept everybody away, didn't tell everybody that was going on, she cut off over 100 people from being around my youngest sister's bed to say goodbye. 100 people. Just her son, my little brother, right, and their respective children. Why? Because they was all like this, co-conspirators, right, in stealing my mother's property, getting her to sign over her £2 million house, right, before she got diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia. I know the tea is hot, isn't it? But it is what it is. But like I was saying, darling dears, that wounding you got is going to be like water off a duck's back. It's going to be like water off a duck's back, but you have to be the one to put it down. Don't live on it, darling dears. Use it as motivation to continue to get great. Remember, I told you that. Divine is trying to come into your life, darling dears, but you have to be what? Willing to accept the offer of help, of love, darling dears. But the love has to come from self. And it's wounding that affected you from your childhood, darling dears. It's that which set you on this path. But this too shall pass. I told you, darling dears, this too shall pass. Always look yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, where I am right now is not my final destination. When you first say, darling dears, you won't be able to look at yourself. But I'm telling you, you say that to yourself every day. Where I am right now is not my final destination. By the time you said it for a while, you got bass in your voice. You're all ad-libbing blood. You might even twerk. I can't twerk. My progeny will come for me in 2s and 3s. They'll send the baby in to see if I'm okay to speak. You know how it is. Anyhow, let's press on. What do you need to know about your chirons? What is it about your healing? Fell right into my hand. You're going to heal, darling dears. But it's a newness. For some of you, this is new. One's is spiritual energy. But you're going to heal. It's going to take some time, but you will heal. Find your chiron, darling dears. Don't let nobody hold you in pain. Why? That's taking the poison and waiting for them to die. Why would you want to do that, bestie? Why? Pourquoi? Is that French? Pourquoi? Listen, I can make myself laugh all day long, darling dears. Anyhow, you're going to heal. It's going to take some time, but you will heal. Because why? Where you are right now is not your final destination. What's this? Josephine, big cat, you are the baddest cat in the YouTube streets. I'm smiling like little bits. Why, thank you, bestie. Why, thank you. Why? Because I want the best for you, darling dears. Why do you think I come to you practically every single day for nearly 5 years? I ain't ramping. I'm coming for all of you cats. Base of the deck. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, darling dears. Tower moment in the reverse. Your healing is going to come, but it's going to take time. You're going to go through your spirituality or your religion. You're going to be learning new things. Some of you are going to have to travel to different places because one's is about movement, darling dears. Listen to your intuition and your discernment, because everybody's healing path is different, and how you heal is, different for you. And we've got 118 in the chat. That's again a 10. Ending of the cycle. You will heal. Everybody's path is different. But whatever they try to paint you with, darling dears, nah, blood, it's not your fit. It's not your fit. Find your chiron. What's this subterfuge and bull swanky on a tower in the upright? What's that? Let's get right into it. Get right up into it. What's that? 26, 20. You, Angelic Alchemist Mother, you keep seeing 26, 26. Have you looked at the angel numbers? Remember I told you my favorite one for deciphering it for me, darling, this is Joanne Scribe. Just Google Joanne Scribes, right? Because it speaks straight to my soul. Yeah. What's this? Yeah, they're chatting shit, blood. But look where the King of Wands is looking back. Into the past. They're talking about things that, mistakes you made, darling dears. But it's only a mistake if you don't learn from that shit. And remember, Einstein said, you can make 10,000 mistakes. It's just a learning curve. You was just learning, you didn't know, right? Some of you are, they're talking about the fact that you are coming across as magnetic, darling dears. You may be a natural born leader, a public speaker. They seem that you're plan, plotting and strategizing, but they don't know what's going on. Tower moment, darling dears. That's their business. They're cut off. It doesn't matter what they're saying because everything is behind your back and they're behind your back for a reason. Don't matter what they're saying, but they're looking back at how you was, right? They haven't gotten over you, darling dears, and they're watching on the world like this, spying, Sputnik, with the children of the corn. They're watching your every move, blood. Every move. They're watching. And all they can see is what? Ace of Pentacles. This is new opportunities, new beginnings. Can you see the archway? That means going through new things coming through to you, darling dears. Could be a new home, a new car, a new career. This is also my ring-bearing card. But the Ace of Pentacles is the hand of God. Why? Because of your dedication. Nobody is going to want you to be more uplifted than you. You are the one that sets the bar for how people treat you. You must be joking. People need to handle me carefully. What you're talking about? Why? Because I've got 3 go-to moves. And if you'd like 3 go-to moves, go watch my Don't Get Smoked video where I teach you what? Self-defense and light kung fu, darling dears. And if you're not willing to do the swinging, come here, eh? Listen, my arms may not be as strong as they was before, right? But I got this. You fit, listen. And this is another tip. Hold on, I got a block. I told you, anytime I'm getting a lot of downloads, my nose gets really snotty. Hold on a minute. If ever, bestie, you're in your house, your apartment, your flat, or anything, and you hear a noise deep in the night when only the devil, right, the police station and hospital is open and it's in your domicile, you know what you do? Turn off the lights. Why? Nobody knows your house better than you in the dark. I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean? Turn off the lights. You don't turn on the light to go and see who's out there. We've seen films like that. We've seen it. You turn off the lights. I don't know who's that's for because they've been hearing some bumps in the night. You turn off them effing lights and you've got things strategically around your house. I'm not going to tell you what I've got in my house. Well, I'll tell you some things. I'll tell you in one corner, I've got turmeric, black pepper and salt. Where's that? It's in a little baggie. Because if I get to that corner before you, I'll go blind your blood clot. We'll all be in the dark. But I know where everything is. And I'll go blind you. What do you mean? I'm not having it. Not. You're not allowed to use the sprays and all that because they said it's against the law, right? I know where everything, I put down things, right? Because if you get past my peacock feathers, right? My red dirt, you manage to pick the lock and get into my domicile, I've got to protect my progeny. Yes, my son is 6 foot tall, but he's still my only son. He's the favorite one, right? I'm not going to send him. I'm going to turn off every blood clot light. And when me and you are in the dark, we will dance the dance, blood. We will dance because I won't have my lace front on, so anything can happen. My plaits, my prison braids are already in. But let me just calm down a bit. Like I said, I don't know who that message is for. You hear them noises in the night, make sure that you're... Listen, don't leave... If you've got small children, you don't put it where your children can find it, darling dears. But you make sure that if you come into my house, you're going to go sorry, yo. You're going to be sorry, yo. Sorry, yo. And just like in that film with Sleeping with the Enemy, when the ex-husband tried to get her, darling dears, Yeah, he found out a new address, right? Broke into the house and rearranged all the tins so they was all lined up, right? Yeah, I've got to get into this, right? And she knew that if she allows this man to live, he's gonna kill her. He's never gonna let her go. So she called the police and says, I've just shot someone. The man's eyes went like this. If you come into my house at night time, everybody's going to be in the dark. I will turn off the lights, and then the salt, pepper, and turmeric will finish you off. And then it's head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. With what? Nay, I told you. If I have to start with nay, people are like, nay, Case, don't do it. Nay, nay. Listen, you can't go out. It's a lock-in. Why? Because I locked the door in the dark. What are you talking about? I know where everything is, as must you. Again, I digress. They're counting your penticales from the nosebleed section, darling dears. They want to know how you keep making water out of wine. I mean, wine out of water. The same ones that you've isolated yourself from, darling dears. What did I say, bestie? The cards don't lie. People do. People do. What's that? We cats, we can see in the dark. Yes, baby, especially in your own domicile. I know where everything is. That's why, when I was living in my last house, I told you, if you've been rocking with me for some years, I'll tell you what happened. I know where everything is in the dark. I don't know what. The devil told me to get, I don't know, because it couldn't have been God, told me to get up in the middle of the night, go downstairs and go into the kitchen to get cheese and crackers. Bestie, I got up and I came out of my bedroom, right? And the wickedest thing, I just had on one of those house coats. You know, you've bathed and you've creamed yourself and you're walking around, you're in your house, right? No brassiere, no underwear, just had this on. It was just me and my progeny in there, right? And I thought, right, I'm going to go down to the kitchen. As I put my foot on the third step, oh my God, I started falling down the stairs. I felt my wrist get tangled up in the wooden things. What's them things called? I don't know what they're called. I had to let my body go. I rolled all the way down. I licked my head into the banister and then I fell on the floor. And then O'Shea came out the front of me and goes, Mum, what happened? Can I help you out? This new fucking kids. They left the Hoover on the stairs. They left the Hoover on the stairs. One left the Hoover on the stairs and the other one turned off all the lights. They don't do that no more. I had to wear a hand brace. It was a double-handed job, mate. Listen, they don't leave this from that day to this. Anything that's supposed to be in a certain place when they're going to their base, they make sure that it's in that place. Because I know where everything is in the dark. They need to kill up my blood clot by putting who leaves a Hoover on the stairs? I need to stop thinking about that because I'm going to get angry again. And I don't want to get angry. I told you this is a bouncy day. We're getting intel. Those ones. Look, I can't make it up. This is disloyalty. People that should have been nurturing. And then again, it's feminine energy. It could be a sister. It could be a mother. But we know it's three of them. Three bitches. I can't call bitches. Right? That have you in their mouth. And they want to block all of your shiznai. Who's that? Tarot Destroyer. Hold on a minute. Let me just hide you from my shit forever. This is what I can't understand. If you're not into tarot, you're not into astrology, right? You're not into numerology. You don't want to hear anything that any of the, because we readers, right? When we read for you, it's not just the message, right? We have to give of ourselves. You know how tired we are? Some of us don't recover for days. That's why you don't see the videos until a few days later, right? But fortunately for me, I use my CMOS, but I digress. If you don't like tarot, you don't like numerology, don't come over here, blood. Nobody wants to hear it. I will throw you out, right? The other cats will cuss you out. Why are you here? It's because they're lonely and sad, darling, and they want attention. Well, they've got it. They can go and face the wall. I blocked him. Him or her, right? Like I said, whatever weapon they try to form against you is not working. And whomsoever that was, that weapon isn't working either. Anytime I'm having a deep spiritual moment with you, the devil's most strongest diligent worker, Prakala or Prakalisha, shows up. Disloyal people, darling dears. Continue to win, big cat. You are spiritually gifted, spiritually guided. This is about you tapping into your inner warrior. Ever forwards, never backwards. Are they still here? No, they're not. They're gone now. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, thank you very much for the Thanksgiving, but we don't have Thanksgiving in the UK. And you know the odd thing about it, I sent my progenies, all of them, because you know you dial one number and everybody picks up. I sent them a message. I'm not celebrating Christmas anymore, Easter. What's the other one? What's that other one? None of them. I don't want to celebrate them anymore. It's not like it was when I was a child. It's all about. It's about greed. It's about gluttony. And because I know exactly what Santa Claus means. I told you I'm a keyboard gangster. I read everything into the night like an elf. Listen. But anyway, it's because you're winning. Do you think if your life was like this, that they'd still be chopping it up about you, darling dears? Do you think that they'd be trying to put curses on you, try to lock and bind your spirit, trying to take the flight out of your tail if your life was like this? But God said no. When God say yes, who can say no? Don't wish them no ill, darling dears. Don't write nothing down. Don't go and see. Don't do none of that shit. Continue to move forward. This is a hot trot. When we see the chariot energy, speaks about a mobile home. Maybe somebody had to sleep in their car at some time. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. To get out of whatever, I don't know, heinous crimes that was being perpetrated against you. You do what you've got to do in order to get yourself right. Yeah, leave them where they are. Disappointed, darling dears. They wish you'd come back and offer to them again. Pardon me again, a spiritual belch, because I speak the truth. Roof, pinkies up. They wish you would come back. Why? Because they was always in the position to make you feel less than, darling dears. You have to remember, many of us come back to this Malkuth during this age of Aquarius because we've already completed all of our life cycles. We came back, right, to help those that were stuck in the rinse and repeat. And what did they do? Listen. Leave them where they are, darling dears. Don't meet them with the same energy. If they curse you, you bless them. I know it's hard, but as time goes on and you see the blessings being sent back into your life, if they curse you, you bless them. Bless them. They want you to come back to situations where there's no love, emotional abuse, there's no togetherness. They must continue to be disappointed. This is 5 of Cups, and why? They feel guilty, darling dears. Let that bad jojo stay with them, blood. Oh no. Don't go back to what broke you ever, darling dears. There will be no healing in that situation. And you've come so far along your healing journey. Some of you, as I said, are in fledgling stages, but no weapon formed against you is going to prosper. You just have to do the due diligence. Find your Chiron, bestie. Find your Chiron. Find your Chiron. And you will heal. It will take time, but you know what? It's best you do it now, sooner rather than later. Don't carry those tears and all of the wickedness that they did to you. That's for them, darling dears. This is why they feel guilty at this moment in time. What's that song? Guilty feet got no rhythm, though it's easy to pretend. I know you're not a fool. Should have known better than to cheat a friend. The wasted gift that I've been given. And though it's easy to pretend, was it? The way I danced with you. Come through, George Michael. Posh clap. I knew it would come through me if I kept singing. Listen, if you didn't like it, click off like that other one. Like I said, don't go back to situations that broke you, darling dears. Is that person back again? I thought I got rid of them. I just deleted the whole line of it. It's fine now. That's what I'm saying. They're doing the due diligence. Why would you spend so much time trying to bring down people who's trying to get spiritually educated, who's met good friends amongst here. It's a shame you can't all see each other, but you can. If you come on my Patreon or you come on my TikToks. You know what? I'm going to go live on TikToks after this. If you want to come live with me, come live so I can see your faces. Right? So I can know who's been following me. It might not be you. Listen, I'm joking, bestie. I know you're not stalkers. I'm joking. It's a joke. Anyhow, yeah. Don't go back to no situation that broke your blood. They want to make amends, but it's not true. This is a situation where you got to wash your face like David. It's not true amends they want to make. It's because you didn't break. They were expected you to break, darling dears. You got the 10 of Pentacles. You've created some kind of loyalty and stability and security around yourself that is going to take you on for generations to come. And it's on a 10. You've already ended the cycle. Why would you want to go back into that? Because a snake will only become a bigger snake. And that second bite, you might not recover from it, darling dears. It's been a long time coming. But continue to move forward. Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. And it also, for some, it speaks about a partner, whether love, platonical or business is coming towards you. And we already had the energy of the 1-4, which speaks about a successful business trip or business offer. Something significant is coming towards you, darling dears, over the next 13 days. All right. Let's get a final card. And then we're out of here. Oh no, we're going to do some live reads for donations of 2222 because it's the number of the 8. Let's get a final message from the African Goddess Rising. How long have we been here? 81 minutes, bestie. What's going on? Good God, couldn't you tell me? 134 in the chat. And what's that? The energy of what? An 8. Success, darling dears. Continue to be motivated. And as I've said, there's something that you need to master. The 8 is about mastering something in order to manifest, darling dears. Yeah. Love it. I don't hate it. Yeah. Leave these shameful ones where they are. They may even try and shame you to come back, but you have a new archway behind you. Don't let nobody hold you in a situation from shame. Why? This is the 19. 19 is what? Sun energy, but it's also the 1 and a 9 going to a 10. You've already come to fruition. You've ended that cycle. Let no one shame you back into a situation. Someone that should have been nurturing to you. This is the first time I noticed this woman's doing some... Listen, they should have been nurturing, yeah? They don't want to talk about what she's doing with hands. Right? Look. Mask-wearing marauders. Right? From the 18th to the 19th, these are fakeazoids, darling dears. They'll only be nice for a little bit just to find out what's going on with you, darling dears, because they want to feel better than you. Remember I told you that? All right. If anybody has a question, please make a donation and I'll answer your question. Let's clean up this a little bit. I've got to keep these two to one side because it's going to be the picture. Let's get some decks. 81 minutes, bestie. Wow. Right. One more. Okay. Donnie Renee, I just need any word, big cat. Of course, Donnie Renee. Please, if you make a donation, can you make it to my PayPal? Because YouTube takes 45% of whatever we make. My PayPal information is in the description box. But if you're going to send a donation to my PayPal, please tell me what your name is on the screen, like, because you listen. You've got one name on your PayPal, one name on the screen, and a whole different one you email me. Listen. Sometimes I've got to play Inspector Crusoe. It's okay, Donnie. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. It's okay. Which deck would you like, Donnie? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6? Which deck would you like me to read from? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or 6? Why are you laughing, Oracle 7100? Did I tickle your fancy? Did I say something funny? You want 1, 2, 3. You want the Art Nouveau base of your deck, darling dears. You have a decision to make, Hangman, something that you're no longer sacrificing yourself for. Hangman could also speak about hearing somebody Hangman could represent prison, but it could also represent a hospital decision. Maybe you've got a medical decision to make. But it's about no longer sacrificing yourself to situations that don't serve you. I don't know, what's the matter with this camera? It keeps coming round, keeps sneaking round. Must be a metaphor for the what? The bad vibes, darling dears, trying to creep up on you like a cheap lace thong. Right. Message for Donnie Renee. Wow. I didn't realize the reading was that long. Yeah. You've got to make a decision about, is it a love decision or a family member? Because the cups is about, the cups again is about nurturing, darling dears. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You need to make a decision about, let me make sure that it's about family, people in your life. Yeah. Is it a relationship decision that you have to make? A relationship that you're not happy with at this moment in time? But it's telling me that you're going to be making the right choice. Yeah, you're dealing with somebody who is what? Not nurturing, darling dears. King of Cups on its face is somebody who's emotionally, mentally, all of the leads, darling dears. This person is a high commander Decepticon. Is this a current situation for Donnie? You got the Queen of Cups here. It seems like it's a current situation, darling dears. You've been nurturing to the wrong person. Look, this is an uneven match. You've been nurturing to the wrong person, darling dears. Maybe that's something that's prevalent in your mind. You're still thinking about a past situation. Is it a past situation that Donnie Renee's still going over in her mind? Did it cut you to the white meat? Listen. Who is this? Oh, wow. They've got lots of channels and lots of faces to be watching people. Listen, you can't rattle me. You know why? Father, Godmother, Isis put me in this position. And until they shut my eyes, I'm here. Yeah. It's a situation that you've already let go of, darling dears. It's still in your conscious mind. But you've made the right choice leaving that situation. Right? Yeah, you had to wash your face like David, Donnie Renee. And again, we get the Hangman. Don't worry about the choice that you made. It was the right decision in that situation. You did split the deck. You was all in your head. But it also speaks about someone being, is this person, this narcissistic person, the King of Cups, are they still in Donnie's energy? If it's on the floor, yeah. You're about to be visited again, darling dears. You better tell them what? Keep it popping, darling, and fresh. Keep it moving, darling dears. Disappoint them, blood clot. Yeah. Disappoint them, right? They're wishing you'd come back. Why? Because you're the Queen of Cups. I just got a donation from Goddess01. What's your question, Goddess01? Yeah. They would like to come back, but this goes to Five of Cups. This person's only coming back, right, to disappoint you again. They're going to try and guilt you out, or they've been trying to guilt you out to get you back into the situation or circle. Donnie Renee, it's not for you. It's not for you. It's not your portion, right? You're the baddest of them all. What did I say? This person is a page. They want to come lie to you again, darling. Listen, your shapely back. Law 16 is already what turned. You may have progeny, you may not. But it's about you focusing on your back, darling dears. I see you going into higher education. You're going to be learning something new. Yeah. And you don't care. You don't care. You know this person is a page. Right? They're bitter. They're jealous. And if they was like that before, they will be on 1,000 if you allow them back in your life. Let's get one card of advice for Donnie Renee going forward. I'm going to use the Soul Oracle deck. One card for Donnie Renee going forward. Listen, the cards ain't ramping. Death to that situation, blood. Let the dead bury the dead. Leave them in the pet cemetery. Do not bring them back. You are not a necromancer. You are not Dr. Frankenstein, right? Your hairline is important, right? Be in service to the Most High, darling dears, in the face of adversity. This person is going to be extremely imaginative, but it's about you tapping into your higher mind, listening to your intuition and discernment, Donnie Renee. Remember I told you that. Focus. Are you working in the services? Going into the medical service? Something to do with money, counting, whatever it is, darling dears. You could also be teaching. You're a good advisor. You're stable, darling dear, at this moment in time. Don't allow that person back into your life, ever. Not even for a nothing. You got to learn the full effect of obstreperous and obstrepery and what? Pisanthropia, where you can't trust no one because of them. Misophonia, right? And they gave you what? Drapetomania, the irresistible urge to run away like Tinky Winky. Right, who's next? Where's Goddess 01? I saw your PayPal come up. Alright, High Priestess, I'm Goddess 01. Can I have a general message? Okay. Alright, darling dear. Number 3 is gone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which deck would you like, Goddess 01? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Is Goddess 01 still here? Did she just drop Skinner and run off? What's going on? Did you underlay? Oh no, you're still here. I wasn't talking about you. We're amongst friends, right? We're amongst friends. I wasn't talking about you. You want deck number 1. Your information is that you are contemplating something, darling dear. Queen of Swords. It also speaks about you being highly intelligent. You need not doubt your mental agility. You can solve any issue with the least amount of problems. But you need to understand you are the Queen of Swords, the baddest of them all. Why? You may be a bit of an overthinker, but more often than not, if you're an overthinker, what you thought about, if it don't go so, it go near so. And it also speaks about your cut-off game, darling dear. All right. What else do we need to know? Goddess 01. Let's keep this here to remember what's going on. I just want a general reading. Queen of Swords, you're thinking about something. You're contemplating something. Maybe your next move? Somebody who wasn't nurturing, darling dears. But we've also got the sword energy, darling dear. If you are contemplating having any form of surgery around the full moon is going to be around, I think it's the 27th of November, darling dears. Is it the full moon in Gemini? I believe that's what it is. Don't do it. A surgical procedure. It could also be medication, darling dears. Listen, there's always a natural way. If this is for you, Goddess 01, if you're thinking about your prognosis, some kind of surgery, some kind of medication, divine is telling you to what? There's another way. Because you know what? You need to relax. You can't always take the advice of other people. This is about you using your wisdom and discernment in a situation. You're not getting surgery. Okay? All right. This goes to 5 of Swords. The Moon card could also speak about shade. Someone who's also trying to take your strength. Hold on a minute. What is it about? Yeah. Manipulation is indicated around you. Oh, Tower moment. And this could also represent not every battle you attend, and not every battle you're called for, it must you attend. The Moon card speaks about betrayal of a best friend, a friend, someone who you saw as a friend, somebody who doesn't want to see you as strong as you are right now. But right now, you are the Queen of Swords. You already know the answer. You just have to go within, darling dear. Base of your deck. Hierophant, who God bless, no man can curse. Remember, you are a child of the divine. Remember, you are a volunteer. You came back, darling dears, to find out, not to find out, to help people to actually cross over and get off the hamster wheel. You're making a decision, darling dear, but this Tower moment is a sudden change that's coming into your life. You may even be moving, darling dears, and it could also may not be physical moving. It could be a mental moving on from a situation, Queen of Swords. Use your discernment going forward. Every answer that you want is going to come from within, but you have to get quiet and you have to listen to yourself. You don't know how to make a donation? Do it on my PayPal, Robert. My PayPal is frequencyphoenix555@gmail.com or onebigcatchronicles@gmail.com. Yeah. You have a decision to make. There's some kind of betrayal, manipulation, but it may not be a physical move. It could be a mental move on. This person or people, right, are going to try to create a tower in your life. But God said, relax, darling dears. Why must you relax? Because if you get too deep into it, you're not going to be thinking about yourself. Moon energy. This is people that would like to argue and fight with you, darling dears. And just to draw you out so they can say, look, there she is. Yeah, yeah. You know, the finger pointers. 112 in the chat. Next question. The next one was, it came through on my thing. Let me see. I've got such a power grid of so many mechanical stuff. I've got my orgone crystal, and it helps because I was starting to get a lot of skin issues, you know, like rashes and things like that. You're most welcome, High Priestess. One to another. Fist bump. Right, let's see who else was this. Let me just quickly go into my email so I can see exactly what's going on here, because I will need to get you in order. Right. The next, oh, it was you got this all one, so we're going to go over here. The next person is Jacqueline Arenton. What was your question? Could somebody put my PayPal address, which is my email address? Could somebody please put it in the comments for Robert, please? Because I can't do two things at once. I'm a one-woman show, blood. Right, Jacqueline. We're down to 4 decks. 1, 2, 3, 4. You choose. Jacqueline Arenton. You want number 3? Base of your deck, darling dears. We have what? The Ace of Pentacles. This is the new beginning for you, darling dears. Ace of Pentacles is Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo energy. It also speaks about somebody approaching you, darling dear. Ace of Pentacles, they are muscular build. Pentacles is olive skin or a black person. Somebody with darker skin tone. Somebody's going to be approaching you with an offer. Pentacles is tangible things. It could be a new job. Pentacles is also what? The ring-bearing card. It could be an offer of romance. Let's dive in and find out what's going on for Jacqueline. I love saying your name. Why? Because it's my little sister's name. Her name was Jacqueline Susan Martin. It was. All right. Oh my God, I've been through all sorts of emotions with you. I like being live, but like I said, it takes an hour for it to what? Actually, it takes 12 hours for it to be loaded up. Right, energy for Jacqueline. You've got the Queen of Wands. Your plan, plotting, and strategy. You look good, Jacqueline. What have you been doing? You been in the gym? You've been holding them squats in the chair pose. Queen of Wands. It also is telling you to listen to your intuition in a love situation, but it's telling me that you're about to make the right choice. Right, Tower moment. This is a sudden change in your life. Right. Let's clarify this Queen of Wands. Wands is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. Lovers is Gemini energy. Right. Tell me the Queen of Wands. These cards are so hard to pick up. Right. Queen of Wands, you've got to make a decision about your finances and your time management, darling dear. This is about you actually focusing and actually focusing on what you want to actually, because you've got a decision to make. You need to manage your time better going forward, right? This also says that you possibly are solo dolo, like the boys or girls on the pole. What's this card that won't come off the deck? Yeah, it's solo dolo. But you've been, how can I put it? I don't want to say the wrong word for you to feel like I'm not a picker or a pointer. Your energy's been a bit scattered, darling dears. You need to focus. You need to focus because you're going to have a major decision to make, which is going to affect your whole hemisphere. When is this decision that she's going to have to make? Let's get a time frame. Oh, we've got One's energy, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. One's energy is what? This major change in your life is going to happen during the summer months. One's is summer energy. It could be travel because One's is represented by the south. You may even live in the south. But you've got to make a major decision. Alright. Knight of Wands. Clarify the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is fickle energy, but it's also a message coming towards you, darling dears. Ah. You're making a decision based around your spirituality, darling dears. Could it be that you're going to be learning more? Because I said the Knight of Wands, but it's the Knight of Swords, excusez-moi. Knight of Swords is about information, darling dear. Yeah. But you're gonna have some kind of what's the word? Epiphany about a step to take, darling dear. Something that is going to culminate in the summer months. Something that you begin right now is going to culminate in 7 months. Divine is telling you to what? Manage your time and your finances properly so that you'll have the energy or the options to be open for you, darling dear. Oh, this one don't want to come up. Yeah. Because you're about to begin again. It also speaks about an older person coming towards you, which is going to have some significant effect on your life, darling dears. Tower moment. This is because Uranus energy is unexpected. You're not expecting this to come into your life. You're going to be caught up in your head about this person, but they come in peace. Thank God. My heart was going boom, diddy, boom, diddy, boom. Whomsoever's coming towards you is coming in peace. We know they're going to be dark-skinned, or a black person. It's in the summer months. This person is going to come in peace. Why is Jacqueline being told to manage her time and her finances better? Why are you being told to manage your time and your finances so much? Listen, because you're about to get the 10th cup. You're about to get the 10th cup, darling dears. Yeah, you've had a lot of disappointment in your life. You've been putting your loyalty in the wrong places. The divine wants you to be loyal to yourself at this moment in time, because what you truly deserve is on its way. But you have to manage your time. How can I put it? It's just like having when you rearrange your home or you throw out things. You have to create the space for the newness to come in, darling dears. Oh, these cards. Yeah. Because whoever you left in the past, darling dears, listen, they was for the streets, blood. Straight up, what? Son or daughter of Pennywise the Clown, someone who is extremely toxic, and they're still watching you, darling dear. Why are they watching, Jacqueline? Because they want to come through again, but they're a page. They're coming with helping hands to help you where and to do what? Help you into fucking knees, blood. Let the past stay in the past, Jacqueline. You have new things coming towards you, but you have to what? Manage your time and your emotions. You don't look like what you've been through, Queen of. You look good. You look good. Right? But it's about you balancing out your energies, darling dears, and creating the space for this newness to come through. And as we already said, it's the summer months. So if you start now, because we're in winter, and look how quickly time is going at this moment in time. It seems like we're only getting what, 20 hours for the 24-hour day. It used to be. By the time I blink my eyes, time to go to my bed of righteousness. Okay, let's go to the next person. Is there another person? Any more questions? I don't think so. You're doing that. You're sorting yourself out. Good for you, bestie. Work on you. Focus on you. Get great. That's what I like to hear. What's that? Hey, Molly. I should have been working on myself a bit more. What do you mean you should have been working on? You're working now. When you recognize there's something in you that's not working a certain way, right? You start fixing it. Listen, it's recognizing it. That's the first stage. Recognizing that there's things that you need to get great about. This is why I tell you, get your own tarot cards. Some of you are scared. When you get your tarot cards and you pick a card, you're running for the meaning. It's nice to have a basic idea, one word idea of what the cards mean. But it's your intuition. It's how you feel when you see that card. You understand? Because this is what goes into reading tarot cards. It's not just knowing about the meaning. Because one card could have 1,000 meanings, but it's what you feel in your stomach. Listen to the words that come into your mind and all of that. This is the High Priestess. You donated again, but it was one question per person, darling dear. Okay, we'll go with you one last time. If you've donated again, let's go. Yes, you did. What is your final question? And then we're out of here because we've been here for 103 minutes. What's this? Drunk elephant BFF? Who's got a drunk elephant BFF? Listen, the only elephant I know is the one in India that likes to murk people twice. Don't do nothing to elephants, blood. They don't forget. Oh, child. I would have loved to have been at that funeral because I would have had my mobile phone out, darling dear, recording everything. What do you mean? Everybody was traumatized. Did not see nothing like that before, Scotty. Never. What's this? Job and career messages. I just left a job, so I didn't catch a case. Okay. You've got the final 3, darling dears, but hold on. Hold on. Or are you going to go with my favorite Rider-Waite deck, the gold deck? Don't go buy it because it's my favorite. I know what's on the back of it. Because I just look. 1, 2, 3, or 4. But don't choose it because it's my favorite. Which one are you drawn to, darling dears? Oracle 7171 is saying you're all saying the gold deck, blood. Did I influence you? I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. But just to let you know, you're single and independent. You said you just left the job. This is telling you to listen to your higher mind. You don't realize the skills and qualities that you have. Pentacles is tangible things. What you've learned, your experiences. You've got a lot of things under your belt, as much as what 9 qualities that will help you get what you want. And you know this. The truth roof. Divine is telling you, don't let the stink of what you left behind cover you like what? A shroud. This is about you washing your face like David, healing from the situation, knowing that you have what it takes to go forward and get what you truly want, right? And what's this? Because you're going to get another job, lad. 3 of Pentacles, your hard work. You're about to be recognized in the skill set with the 9 things that you do well, darling dears. You're about to get another position. But Divine don't want you to live on what you went through, darling dears, to wash it off like David. But it's also what? When you see the star card, it's about you healing, but you have to also what? Heal your character so that the same circumstance and situation don't come to you again. Remember, when you leave something and your energy is high, you're vibrating on that frequency to draw a similar situation. Because you've heard people leave from job to job and they come back to the same fucking ease, blood, at a different address that they have to travel even further to go. Listen, let's carry on. Single and independent. What about, we already saw that you're going to get another one, darling. There's one more fitting, one where you're respected. This is people looking up to you. I think you're going into a leadership role, darling dears. This is why you mustn't undercut yourself. You have value, and this is about you rewriting your resume. Let's carry on. What's this? Because you're going to win. Have you got a new car, or you're about to get a chariot of righteousness, darling dears? This is status, darling dears. What about Goddess 01, the High Priestess? What about her? Tell us some more intel about her going forward. This is being victorious, being admired by others. 2 came off. Yeah. Don't worry about what you left behind, darling dear. You left behind what? Knocks, right? And the bureaucracy of it all, the soul's energy. There was a lot of gossiping, darling dears. People wanted you to be effective, but they didn't know that you'd wash your face like David and cut ties. All of that confusion is a lot of bull swanky. Take this leap of faith. You've got a new beginning, and it's blessed and highly favored. You are being gifted the tree of life, a second chance, with what? The 2020 swords information. You've got the 2 of swords. That means that you know everything. There's nothing that you need to what? Cut off or cut out. Why? Because you're going to do the work before you go into this new position, before you apply for it, darling dears. Don't apply for a new job in desperation or with the same energy that you left the last job in, especially if it was left in, it wasn't fabulous, darling dears. It wasn't. Listen, anytime I do readings, right, my nose runs like a river. You don't see this because normally the camera's on my hands. If I said, listen, we're doing eye chakra to eye chakra today, you're going to take this new beginning, darling dear. And it also speaks about an older person. There's going to be an older person at this new job. Justice in the reverse, darling dears. Was it at the last job? Because if you just went breezy and just left that place, you left someone, it was an older person that you left behind. You wasn't the same age, darling dears. This person wasn't very nice. And they've got karma on them for what they did to you. What about this new job? When? This is what we want. Let's narrow it down. When is my High Priestess, Goddess 01, going to get this new position? You're going to get it, darling dears, and you're going to be going into this. The cards are telling you to go for a leadership role, right? Don't downmark your skills. 4 of Cups. Apply for a leadership role, darling dears. Right. The first card that fell into my hand is Wands, and as we already know, Wands is summer energy, right? But the Swords, right? The Swords is spring. So I think that this position that you're going to get, darling dears, I think you're going to be applying. You may get other things, but the one which is going to give you a managerial position, a role which has authority, darling dears, apply for it during the spring. You're going to see it during the spring, and by the summer months it's yours. A new beginning for you, darling dear. Renisha, what going? Big cat wave. So glad to see you, B. You good? Are you alright? I missed you. Listen, because I have to record it. I don't get to get your energies, and I love it when we can do the tete-a-tete. Like I said, the springtime, darling dears, you're going to see this position, and you may doubt yourself. The divine is telling you not to doubt yourself. Go for a more managerial role, a leadership role. You'll be able to do it, darling dears. You got the King of Swords. Your wisdom, your wise, your intellect is going to give you that position. The interview, you're going to talk the socks off of them, but it's in the springtime you'll be doing the interviewing. Maybe you'll have to do a series, but you'll be firmly in that position by the summer months. And it's going to change your whole world, darling dears. This is not going to be a toxic, temporary situation. Notice the branch is just barely clipped to the wall. This is going to be something tangible, something that you can actually work with. You may even have to be involved in travel in this position, or you will be traveling to this position. You could also speak about a house move. But keep going, darling dears, and it's about you getting over the energy. Don't apply for something that you want in an energy that is of lack. You have to know that shit's yours. Is that it? I believe it is. I've got to come off, mate. You must be sick of me. Bestie, you sick of me? You can tell me. You can tell me you're sick of me. I've got to go. Anyhow, Bernicia. I don't know. Every time I see your name, B, I always feel nurturing towards you. What's this? Listen to your intuition and your instincts. I don't know what you're going through. Listen to your intuition. All answers come within. And you see these two wolves here? We all have them. I call them two cats inside of us. One is good and one is bad. Listen to your intuition and discernment in every situation, because whatever cat you feed, this is going to be prevalent for you. Moon energy. You could be nurturing unto yourself, but moon energy is mother energy, female energy, feminine energy coming at you, darling dears. You choose how you want to be in that situation. Listen to your intuition and your discernment. On that note, I drops me mic. So note to my Teesprings, my patrons, or simply come back here. If you'd like a personal read, please hit me up in the Gmail. All of my intel is in the description box below. And who's going to say this with me? And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. What's that? Cat, cat. Cat, cat. Bye. Bye, besties. Bye. Bye. Until we meet again.